Wait, what kind of weapon are we talking about here?
The Thanos killing kind.
Hey guys, it's finally time to make the handle for Stormbreaker. Now, I could use my own arm, but I am kind of partial to it. So, Groot? 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 Oops. Ian can deal with that on Monday. Groot? Scarlet Witch? Thor! Doctor Strange! Thanos! Iron Man! Groot? Groot! Aw, you're too small. Groot? 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 No, that's Jarvis. Groot? Groot! Yeah! So obviously making an actual wood handle might not actually work too well because Stormbreaker is really heavy. So I'm actually going to be making a steel handle. And we found this nice thick piece of rusty steel pipe, which actually almost looks like wood. But just in case, we're also going to be doing a acid etch on it using something called gun blue to make it a nice brown color as well. So let's take a look at Stormbreaker and see how we're going to attach this. Alright, so before we attach the two halves together, we need to make sure that they're actually the same weight. Because as you know, if it's not perfectly balanced...
Well, if there's too much weight, you lose power on the swing.
Alright. Let's see how heavy the hammer is. 13.89 kilograms. Now the blade, only 11.23 kilograms. So, to make the blade weigh the same as this, we're gonna have to add a bit more material. But luckily, when I built it, I kind of left part of it hollow. So we can actually put a few plates of steel inside to make it weigh the same. So, let's see if we have some chunks of steel. Perfect. Now we just have to weld these in place. Oh, it's heavier. 13.02. 13.05. We need an extra 30 grams. 13.05. 13.05. There, it's perfectly balanced. As all things should be. This actually raises a really interesting question because my Stormbreaker is hollow and kind of, well, it was uneven, but now it should be perfectly balanced. But if Stormbreaker was cast out of solid uru, where is its center of gravity? Let's go back to SolidWorks and see if the real Stormbreaker is actually perfectly balanced. And the neat thing with SolidWorks is you can do something called mass properties. So, if you actually look at this, it's found the center of mass to actually be right here, which as you can see is not actually centered. So that means that the hammer portion of Stormbreaker does in fact weigh more than the blade, which means Stormbreaker isn't perfectly balanced.
It's not true! That's impossible! No!
How is Thor swinging it? So, if the material is steel, the whole thing weighs 49.24 kilograms. That's over 100 pounds if it was made of solid steel. But what if we actually made it out of uru? Like, what is the density of uru even? Let's assume it's at least the density of tungsten, which is one of the most dense materials that you can get on Earth. Tungsten. So, if we were able to make Stormbreaker completely out of tungsten, it would weigh 120 kilograms. 120 kilograms. 120 kilograms times 2.2, it will weigh 264 pounds. That's insane. And I get the feeling Uru, which is like the core of a neutron star or something like that, is even denser than that. So Stormbreaker truly is a weapon to kill Thanos. Anyway, group, it's time to attach you to Stormbreaker. Now hang on, why am I even building Stormbreaker anyway? Well, I think the answer is pretty obvious. I really like to smash things. Which is why I love the new mobile game Cats, Crash Arena Turbo Stars, and they've actually sponsored this video. How the game works is you're a mean street kitten, and you're a mechanic. You build a car, you equip it with weapons, and then you battle other players to win the championship. The car fights automatically, so it's up to you to make it the best. It's actually kind of like BattleBots. You can play with friends, join guilds, and right now, they even have a game mode called All-Stars, which lets you play on crazy modified arenas with booby traps. They've also recently partnered with Hot Wheels, which means you get awesome Hot Wheels parts, and a chance to win real Hot Wheels toys. Simply use my link in the description below to play Cats today. Beat the tutorial and then unlock some exclusive bonuses. And if you guys want to win a Hot Wheels toy car, leave your game ID in a comment below for the giveaway. Now, let's finish this axe. Alright, so this is pretty thick wall steel pipe, but I think I want to reinforce just the part of the handle right at the base of Stormbreaker. So I'm actually going to try and jam this pipe inside of this pipe. Perfect. To the welder. Kind of like a Grim Reaper axe at the moment. Oh, the next piece is the hammer, which gets welded to this. Holy crap. That's a little heavy. Alright, to make this steel pipe look a bit more like Groot, we're actually going to try and take some steel aircraft cable and wrap it around the actual hammer portion like it is in on the real Stormbreaker. So, let's see how that works.
So's my brain.
That's about all I want to do.
Nope.
So we're actually just using gun glue right now to change this steel aircraft cable into black steel aircraft cable. So it looks a bit more like Groot. Alright, so we've got the handle for Stormbreaker made now, and we've started adding some steel cable around the head of the axe to make it look a bit more like Groot. And it looks pretty good, but I think we can do a better job. So we're actually going to be adding a whole bunch more steel cable over the entire thing. And unfortunately that means it's going to get a lot more heavy, but I think it will look a bit more like Groot. So let's start doing that. So. It's actually looking really good. I was a little worried. I'm like, did I screw up Stormbreaker? Don't you hate it when you're like, you're almost done a project, and then you do something that you're not sure if it's gonna work, and then it doesn't work, and then everything you've done is for waste. It's gonna be tricky to weld. Whatever, that's a future Hacksmith problem.
Man, I don't envy that guy.
I need more wire! What do you got for me, Dave?
No. This needs to be rinsed off first. It's still covered in the acid.
Oh yeah, acid. So now play some like B-roll of like someone having an LSD trip. More wire! Why don't I use zip ties for all my welding? We'll probably learn later on in this video that they just melt and screw everything up. Probably weld from this end, and then I can tighten the vines off the end as I go. So this is going to be for the handle. Almost completely hide this part. I think I'm almost done there. Maybe a bit more of the thin stuff. It's going to be tricky to weld though, so I'm going to use some really small wire to kind of replace the zip ties as a permanent thing, and then we'll also do a bit of welding. You don't know pain until you've gotten one of these wires right in behind your fingernail. Hoi! There we go. That's a lot harder than I thought it'd be. It's not much oil. All right, so we've got most of the steel cable added to Stormbreaker and it's looking pretty awesome, but it's getting harder and harder to hold. It really digs into your hand. So we're actually gonna take some more steel cable and we're gonna wrap it around the handle like this. So we have a nice spot to grab that doesn't kill your hands, because this thing is heavy. I think it was around, I think it was like at least 90, maybe 100 pounds before we added the steel cable. And I wouldn't be surprised if we added another 10, 15 pounds. So I'm not even sure how much this weighs yet, but it's getting pretty hefty. A heft and a half, as Riley would say.
That is heft and a half.
Anyways, let's start drilling holes. And then, oh. Safety glasses first, people. Even Elena has safety glasses that she's not wearing. We might have to do it again. Second straggler.
I almost want to do it along the whole thing. Oh my god.
In the comics, It does have stuff like this, but it's just like here and here. I'd say we add more pieces to it. We need more steel cable in this because I want it to go at least another inch, which really wouldn't be that much more cable. But in the meantime, let's take it off.
She's gonna blow!
Alright, so we want to add more cables, like this stuff. I'm going to cover this entire end here.
A few moments later.
And welcome back to building Stormbreaker's handle. So we've kind of run into some creative differences here on the Hacksmith team, and we're trying to figure out how to make the handle look the best it can be. So currently we've got the wire wrapped here for the top handle, and that looks really cool. And then I want to do something similar over here, but then the question was, how do we finish over here and make it look good? And we're really not too sure. So, we only have 50 feet left of this, which means we need to go buy even more. This is to tell you that's 50 feet worth of cable. So we need like another 200 plus feet to do all that if we wanted to. And I think that's what we're gonna do, because this does actually look pretty cool. And it's nice, it's pretty good to hold, doesn't really hurt your hands, and it looks fairly even throughout. All right, I require assistance. Ready?
Twisty, twisty, twisty.
I don't understand, why is it twisting? It's in! And I don't think it's coming out.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Alright, so this is the third time we've wrapped and unwrapped the handle. But now I think we're figured out how to get it really tight by using two people. See, there's no way E-Tree could have made this handle, because he didn't even have hands. And we need 4 hands right now to do it. Hooray! Alright, where'd all those nails go?
You got the heavy end.
Nonsense, it's perfectly balanced.
Should I just weld it with the lightsaber?
Yeah! Okay, got some welding gloves. Grab a mask. Go! Alright, so which one's first? There we go. Wow, that was a lot of sparks. Alright! Fit as many in as possible, or like?
So, that was my thought.
Yeah, I think that'll look pretty cool. It's interesting how you get used to molten metal splashing off your skin and it burning. Like, you'd think that's something you wouldn't get used to. It's like, it hurts, but you're like, I'm gonna keep welding. I need more wire. Need a few more. Now the tricky ones. Can you help me rotate it? Oh boy. Time for wrappings. All right, so after a lot of frustration, we're in the final stretch, which means we just have to wrap from here to here and then finish off the end nicely. So we've drilled another hole. We're gonna stick the wire in the hole, and we're gonna use some nails in the hole to stop it from moving. Can someone stabilize Stormbreaker?
Yeah, this is what they pay me for. I have a weight scale.
While you pull, I'll hit with hammer. Kinda? Oh, it's getting really hot. I think we can get around that now. Using hammers to make hammers. Which came first, the hammer or the hammer? Yeah, when I first designed Stormbreaker in my head, I did not think about the handle at all beyond, yeah, we'll use some steel cable. And now it's proving to be one of the most time-consuming parts. We've made a lot of cool stuff, but I feel like this is the first, like, almost like artisan, like pretty freaking work of art. Oakley dokley. So are we trying to braze like along the edge?
Everyone put some sunglasses on.
I get the best ones. Keep going. Hey, it's actually melting.
Alright, you want to pick it up and flip it over?
Can I? Yeah, that's not too bad. Oh my god. Oh boy. It's a heavy. It's about to get heavier. That counterweight though. So this is a chunk of tungsten. Tungsten weighs, it's heavier than lead. So this tiny little chunk weighs about 20 or 25 pounds. So we put in the hilt of this to make it actually balanced so you can actually grab it from here. But without it, can't do it. So much brazing, so little time.
It's only 30 pounds.
Okay, so we are going to see how much it weighs. Let's see if we destroy the scale. Whoop. Oh. It's too big. Oh, my back is hurting. 104.4. Minus the weight of the 2x4. So yeah, just over 100. That's not too bad. That was reasonable. Training to fight Thanos might not take as long as I thought. Alright, so it's finally done. This has been hundreds and hundreds of hours in the making. If you guys want to help support the channel and ensure we can keep making awesome projects like Stormbreaker, consider buying my new shirt, Training to Kill Thanos. Because before we do the test video with Stormbreaker, I think I'm going to have to bulk up a bit because I'm no Chris Hemsworth.
He needs the axe.
Oh yeah, that's way better. Alright, seriously though, I hope you guys have enjoyed this project. It's been a ton of work, but I'm super happy with how Stormbreaker came out. We have a few more little detail pieces that we're going to do. I have to hit the gym and get a bit stronger before we do the test video, and you guys should hit the join button below to become part of the Hacksmith Elite, where you can see videos before we release them on YouTube. Plus, don't forget to buy my new shirt. Thanks for watching. I'm stuck.